Shockingly, Hollywood's most private superstar has 3 children who've taken 3 completely different paths. While Tom Cruise remains one of the world's biggest movie icons, his family life tells a far more complicated story. From Isabella's quiet life in London, to Connor's devotion to faith and fishing, and Suri's stunning transformation into a young woman raised by Katie Holmes, each child reflects a different side of their famous father. In 2025, the mystery of the Cruise family is deeper and more fascinating than ever. Isabella Cruise. When Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman adopted their first child, Isabella Jane Cruise, on December 22, 1992, their lives changed forever. At the height of their fame, the couple had already conquered Hollywood. Tom as one of cinema's most bankable stars, and Nicole as a rising Australian actress with a luminous career ahead. Yet beyond the flashing cameras and blockbuster premieres, the pair yearned for something deeper. They wanted a family. In a 1994 Vanity Fair interview, Tom opened up about the early days of fatherhood. He admitted with a laugh that he was scared to death the first time he changed Isabella's diaper. Parenthood, he said, had not come naturally to him at first. Nicole and I talked about children from time to time, but there was always the work, he confessed. But then we went, when is it ever going to be the right time? That's how the conversation started. You're lying in bed at night trying to sleep, and you roll over and say, what would happen if we had this in our life? That late-night conversation sparked a life-altering decision. The couple reached out to adopt, and when baby Isabella arrived, they instantly knew their lives would never be the same. One of the things that Nick and I talk about is that now suddenly we're a family, Tom said warmly. For both of them, it wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was the moment they truly felt grounded, united not by fame, but by shared love for a child. Nicole Kidman, speaking in the same interview, expressed the depth of her maternal instincts and the sense of destiny she felt. Isabella was meant for us, she said simply. I think when things come into your life at a certain time, you have to take them. It's destiny. She revealed that she and Tom had already discussed expanding their family even further, whether through biological children or more adoptions. We definitely plan on having more kids, by birth or adoption, preferably both, she said. At that time, few people knew the emotional backdrop that had led to their first adoption. Years later, in a 2007 Vanity Fair profile, Nicole finally shared what she had kept private for so long, her painful miscarriage early in the marriage. From the minute Tom and I were married, I wanted to have babies, she said. And we lost a baby early on, so that was really very traumatic. And that's when we would adopt Bella. She paused before adding, there's a complicated background to that, given that I never speak much about many things. One day, maybe that story will be told. Her words hinted at a time of grief, confusion, and eventual healing. For Nicole, adoption wasn't just an act of compassion. It was a profound answer to loss. And for Tom, it was a chance to redefine what family meant beyond biology. Together, they became parents not just to Isabella, but later to their son Connor, born in 1995. Isabella's childhood was unlike most. Raised between sprawling mansions and film sets, she was shielded from paparazzi as much as possible. Tom and Nicole made a concerted effort to keep their children's lives private, though they couldn't avoid being Hollywood's most watched couple. After the couple's highly publicized split in 2001, Isabella and Connor's custody became a delicate matter. Both children chose to stay primarily with Tom, who at that point was deeply involved with the Church of Scientology. As a result, Isabella grew up largely away from her mother's side. Reports surfaced that her relationship with Nicole became distant, complicated further by differing beliefs and life paths. Still, neither mother nor daughter ever publicly criticized the other. Nicole, known for her grace and restraint, has often said she loves her children deeply and unconditionally. Meanwhile, Isabella, quiet and introspective by nature, gravitated toward art rather than fame. She had no interest in acting or modeling like her parents. Instead, she pursued creative independence, studying at London's Delamar Academy of Makeup and Hair, a prestigious school for aspiring artists. She became an accomplished hair and makeup artist, quietly building a life far removed from the glitz of Hollywood. By her mid-20s, Isabella had chosen to settle permanently in England, where she felt she could simply be Bella and not Tom Cruise's daughter. In 2015, she made headlines when she married IT consultant Max Parker in a modest, low-key ceremony at London's Dorchester Hotel. What surprised the world wasn't the wedding itself, but who wasn't there. Neither Tom nor Nicole attended. That absence quickly became tabloid fodder, with speculation running wild. But Bella, ever the private and straightforward woman, pushed back. In a rare statement to Daily Mail Online, she said, "Of course they're my parents. Anyone who says otherwise is full of CT." Her comment silenced many rumors that she had cut ties with them. The truth, it seemed, was far simpler. Her parents had supported her choices, but the family had chosen privacy over publicity. Only a few close friends attended the intimate ceremony, and even Max's parents skipped the event. His mother, Beverly Parker, explained that they wanted to avoid creating a media circus. "They're a lovely couple," Beverly said, "and we're very pleased for them both. They're very happy." According to People magazine, Tom not only approved of the marriage, but paid for the wedding. Sources close to the actor said he was completely fine with not attending and simply wanted his daughter to enjoy her day without the glare of paparazzi. Nicole, on the other hand, reportedly felt just glad Bella seemed happy. The decision, though unconventional, reflected the deeply private ethos Bella shared with both of her parents. In the years since her wedding, Isabella Cruise has continued to live a low-profile life in London with her husband Max. She rarely makes public appearances, though she occasionally shares glimpses of her art on social media under the name Bella Kidman Cruise. Her works often feature surrealistic imagery and bold, textured strokes, pieces that reflect both sensitivity and emotional depth. For those who follow her online, it's clear she values her privacy above all else. She does not attend celebrity events, avoids interviews, and keeps her circle small. When she does post, it's usually about her artwork rather than her famous lineage. Fans who admire her independence note that she seems content living outside the chaos of fame that once surrounded her childhood. In 2021, she briefly resurfaced in headlines after sharing a self-portrait on Instagram, sparking curiosity about her life and her relationship with her parents. But as always, Bella chose to keep her words minimal, letting her art speak for her instead. Though the public often speculates about the nature of Isabella's relationship with her parents, those close to the family suggest that there remains mutual love and respect, even if the family doesn't display it publicly. Nicole has often spoken lovingly of her children with Tom, even while acknowledging their privacy. "They are adults," she once said in a 2019 interview. "They have made choices to be Scientologists, and as a mother, my job is to love them." That gentle statement captured the essence of Nicole's quiet acceptance. She doesn't share the same spiritual path as Isabella or Connor, but she honors their autonomy. "Whatever relationship we have, I hold it close to my heart," she said. For Tom, fatherhood has always been central to his public and private identity. Over the years, he's spoken about his children with pride, describing Isabella as a very kind, creative, and grounded person. Friends of the actor say that while Tom's life has taken him all over the world, from movie sets to humanitarian missions, he has maintained regular contact with his eldest daughter. In many ways, Isabella Cruise represents the path less taken in Hollywood. She grew up in extraordinary circumstances, yet chose an ordinary life, one focused on art, marriage, and quiet fulfillment rather than fame or fortune. For someone born into two of the most scrutinized families in entertainment, her ability to remain grounded is remarkable. Connor Cruise. When Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman welcomed their second child, Connor Anthony Cruise, into their family through adoption on January 17, 1995, they felt their world was complete. Just over 2 years earlier, they had adopted Isabella, and now, with the arrival of a baby boy, the couple felt that their dream of building a family was fully realized. At that time, Tom was at the peak of his stardom, coming off global hits like Interview with the Vampire and Mission, Impossible, while Nicole was earning international acclaim for To Die For. Yet despite their busy careers, both actors made it clear that their children were their top priority. Tom and Nicole were deeply private when it came to their kids, choosing to shield Isabella and Connor from the blinding spotlight of Hollywood. Their goal was to create a childhood that felt as normal as possible, even if that was almost impossible for the offspring of two global icons. They were doting parents, often photographed together on family outings, and they took turns bringing the children along to movie sets around the world. For a while, the Cruise-Kidman family seemed picture-perfect, two successful actors and their two beloved children, forming what appeared to be one of Hollywood's most enviable households. But when Tom and Nicole divorced in 2001, the family dynamic shifted dramatically. Both Isabella and Connor were still young. Isabella was 9, and Connor was just 6. The divorce was a media frenzy, filled with speculation about religion, custody, and the reasons behind the split. While Tom retained primary custody of the children, both parents insisted that love would always bind the family. Over time, Isabella and Connor chose to live primarily with their father, who was deeply involved in the Church of Scientology. Nicole, who was devastated by the separation, later opened up about that painful period. In a candid interview with Hello magazine, she said, "I'd love them to live with us, but what can you do?" The words carried the sorrow of a mother who had to let go, understanding that her children had chosen a different path. Despite the physical distance, Nicole remained proud of them both and spoke of their strength and individuality. When Nicole married country singer Keith Urban in June 2006 in a romantic ceremony in Australia, both Connor and Isabella attended. Though they maintained a private presence at the event, their attendance symbolized the family's enduring connection. Over the years, Nicole and Keith went on to welcome two daughters, Sunday Rose, born on July 7, 2008, and Faith Margaret, born via gestational surrogate on December 28, 2010. Even as Nicole embraced her new chapter of motherhood, she continued to express deep affection for her first two children, refusing to let distance or differing beliefs define their bond. In a 2014 interview with Now to Love, Nicole described Isabella and Connor as generous, kind, and hardworking, traits she said she loved to see in all her children. Her words painted a picture of a proud mother who valued character over career. She spoke about how all 4 of her kids were growing into independent, caring individuals, each forging their own identity. Connor, for his part, grew into a talented and self-driven young man. While he inherited his father's charisma and confidence, he wasn't drawn to acting like Tom or Nicole. Instead, he found his passion in music, specifically as a DJ. Under the name DJ C², Connor began performing at high-profile events in the United States and internationally. His high-energy sets, featuring hip-hop, electronic, and dance influences, made him a popular figure in the club and festival scene. He quickly gained recognition not just as Tom Cruise's son, but as a performer in his own right. In the early 2000s, Connor's DJ career was thriving. He toured across the U.S. and even traveled to Australia, where he performed at several festivals. During one of those visits, he gave a rare interview to Woman's Day in 2014, where he expressed heartfelt affection for his mother, despite public speculation about their relationship. "I love my mom," he said firmly. "I don't care what people say. I know that me and Mom are solid. I love her a lot. My family means everything." Those words carried significant weight. For years, tabloids had portrayed Connor as estranged from Nicole, suggesting that Scientology had driven a wedge between them. But Connor's statement made it clear that love, not division, defined their relationship. "I love music," he added during that same interview, "but the family comes before everything else." It was a rare glimpse into his values, a young man who, despite the glamour of the entertainment industry, prioritized his family above all. By that time, Nicole had publicly addressed her children's association with Scientology in an interview with Who magazine in 2018. Ever composed and diplomatic, she said, "They are adults. They are able to make their own decisions. They have made choices to be Scientologists, and as a mother, it's my job to love them." The statement silenced years of speculation about tension. Nicole made it clear that unconditional love, not religion or public perception, defined her role as their mother. Connor's relationship with his father, Tom, has always been close. The two share a love for adventure, travel, and high-speed thrills. Friends of the family say they bonded over deep-sea fishing trips, motorcycling, and sports. In fact, fishing became one of Connor's greatest passions, and in recent years, he's built a lifestyle centered around it. Having stepped back from the music scene, he's now based in Miami, where he lives a low-key life focused on the ocean and the outdoors. He often shares snapshots of his fishing adventures on social media, proudly showing off massive catches from his expeditions across Florida and the Caribbean. He's part of a competitive fishing community, sometimes participating in tournaments. To those who follow him online, it's clear that Connor has found contentment in a life of simplicity and nature, a world away from Hollywood premieres and celebrity gossip. Those who know him describe Connor as easygoing, grounded, and deeply loyal. He keeps a small circle of friends, most of whom aren't from the entertainment industry. He rarely speaks publicly, but when he does, his words are measured and sincere. Despite being raised in extraordinary circumstances, Connor's adult life reflects his desire for privacy and authenticity. He's also known to share a close relationship with his older sister, Isabella. The siblings, who grew up side by side, remain bonded through shared experiences and mutual understanding. Like Bella, Connor prefers to stay out of the spotlight, focusing on his personal passions rather than fame. The two have occasionally been seen together at private gatherings or events related to the Church of Scientology, suggesting that their connection remains strong. Nicole, meanwhile, continues to speak lovingly about all her children whenever asked. She has said that being a mother is her greatest joy, and that her family, spread across 2 continents and several generations, defines her more than her career ever could. "Motherhood fills me with love," she once said. "My children are my heart." As for Connor, he's grown into a man who reflects the best of both his parents: Tom's discipline and energy, and Nicole's sensitivity and grace. Though his life is far removed from the glimmer of Hollywood, it's full of purpose. Whether he's spinning records at a festival or reeling in a deep-sea catch, he does so with quiet confidence, a grounded spirit, and an unwavering sense of family loyalty. Suri Cruise. Suri Cruise entered the world on April 18, 2006. The daughter of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, and instantly one of the most talked-about celebrity babies of her generation. The world waited months for a glimpse of her, and when that moment came, it was cinematic. In October 2006, Vanity Fair unveiled its now iconic cover, photographed by Annie Leibovitz and first teased on CBS Evening News. The cover introduced 3-month-old Suri to the public, showing her snuggled in her father's leather aviator jacket, a visual echo of Linda McCartney's intimate portrait of Paul McCartney and their baby daughter Mary on his 1970 album, McCartney. Katie Holmes called Suri the miracle of our life, and you could sense the sincerity in her words. She and Tom were still in the glow of their whirlwind romance, the kind of love story that had fascinated and divided the public ever since Tom's infamous Oprah couch jump. Tom, proud as ever, told Vanity Fair that they found the name Suri in a baby book sent by friends and were drawn to it immediately. Only later did they discover that it meant red rose, a poetic coincidence that sealed their decision. "It was perfect," Tom said, smiling in the accompanying photo spread that captured a family seemingly living inside a Hollywood fairy tale. That 2006 interview painted a picture of harmony. The couple's home in Telluride, Colorado, where Suri was being raised alongside Tom's adopted children, Connor and Isabella, from his marriage to Nicole Kidman. "It's really special to see them holding their little sister," Katie shared warmly. "To hear them talk about all of the fun things they are going to do together." Tom, too, was sentimental, reflecting on the fleeting nature of childhood. "It's very moving to me," he said. "You look at those moments of watching Bella and Connor grow up, and you get a sense of what kind of people they are going to be as adults." But as the world would later learn, the fairy tale had cracks. By 2012, after 6 years of marriage, Katie Holmes filed for divorce, a decision that shocked Hollywood. Her lawyer released a short, carefully worded statement. Her primary concern remains, as it always has been, her daughter's best interest. Tom's spokesperson echoed her sentiment, saying he was deeply saddened and concentrating on his 3 children. The divorce was finalized quickly and quietly, with both parents agreeing that Suri would live primarily with her mother while Tom retained generous visitation rights. Katie soon moved her life, and her daughters, to New York City, seeking both anonymity and normalcy in a city where celebrities can blend in amid the chaos. Determined to raise Suri as far from Hollywood's glare as possible, Katie became a familiar sight on Manhattan sidewalks, carrying coffee, clutching Suri's hand, and walking her to school or gymnastics classes. The Batman Begins actress traded red carpets for PTA meetings, striving to create the stable, grounded childhood she had envisioned. Of course, the paparazzi followed. Every outing, every walk to school, every smile was photographed and dissected. Yet Katie remained steadfast in her resolve to give Suri something resembling a normal life. Over the years, she shared only a handful of moments on social media, preferring to keep her daughter's private world protected. Still, mother and daughter were often seen attending sporting events, strolling through Soho, or heading to Broadway shows, one of their shared passions. In a 2017 interview with Town & Country, Katie reflected on her life as a single mother and her protective instincts. "My child is the most important person to me, and her upbringing is paramount to my work right now," she said. "It's very important that I'm present, and that she has a stable, innocent childhood." Holmes described motherhood as both grounding and emotional. "Every day, kids get a little further away from you. That's a positive thing. They should be becoming more independent, but it's heartbreaking." By her teenage years, Suri had grown into a striking young woman, tall, poised, and unmistakably resembling both of her parents. Yet despite her Hollywood lineage, she remained largely out of the spotlight. Unlike many celebrity kids of her generation, Suri avoided the influencer route, preferring privacy and focus on her studies. Holmes's deliberate decision to shield her from fame worked. Suri grew up without a public Instagram account or the kind of tabloid presence that plagued other celebrity offspring. Still, the bond between mother and daughter occasionally appeared through Holmes's creative work. In 2022, Katie released Alone Together, a romantic drama she wrote, directed, and starred in, inspired by the isolation of the pandemic. The film opens with a delicate, haunting cover of Blue Moon, sung by none other than Suri. It was a quiet but powerful moment, signaling her artistic streak and her mother's trust in her talent. A year later, Suri lent her voice again for Katie's next project, Rare Objects. The collaboration wasn't about fame or exposure. It was about connection. "I hope she always does something on my films," Holmes told Glamour in March 2023. "I always ask her, but both of those experiences came out of the same sense of what I love about our industry. You have these projects and you become a family with people. And it's this safe, beautiful, creative space. At the time of that interview, Suri was nearly 17 years old, on the cusp of adulthood. Holmes spoke with both pride and protectiveness. What has been really important for me with my daughter, because she was so visible at a young age, is I really like to protect her, she said. I'm very grateful to be a parent, to be her parent. She's an incredible person. Observers have long speculated about the nature of Suri's relationship with her father, Tom Cruise, especially in light of his deep involvement in Scientology. The actor, for his part, has remained publicly silent about his daughter in recent years. Nonetheless, his earlier comments about fatherhood, describing the joy of watching Bella and Connor grow, hinted at a man deeply moved by his children's evolution. While there's been no confirmed estrangement, reports indicate that Suri's life in New York remains firmly centered around Katie and her circle of close friends and family. Through it all, Suri's world has remained surprisingly ordinary. Friends from school describe her as down-to-earth and studious, often spotted hanging out at Central Park or browsing in small bookstores downtown. She's been seen carrying art supplies, humming songs under her breath, a reflection of both her mother's artistic sensibility and her own creative spirit. As of 2025, Suri Cruise stands on the threshold of adulthood, independent, composed, and ready to chart her own course. She's grown up in the eye of a storm, yet somehow managed to remain untouched by its chaos. That's largely thanks to Katie Holmes, who never wavered in her determination to keep Suri's life anchored in reality rather than in Hollywood fantasy. What do you think about Tom Cruise's 3 children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.